Sportsmen and women depend on this to win. Positive mental attitude. In marriage, there are negatives and there are positives. How do we learn to focus less on the negatives? And the question is, which are these negatives? Welcome to Family Times, and that is what we are going to talk about today, focusing less on the negatives. To help us talk about this, we have a beautiful couple that has been married for the last 7 years. And if you ask them, they tell you it seems like yesterday. Ken and Josephine, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Please introduce your wife in the best way you think is possible.
Thank you very much. Before I introduce her, I need to introduce myself. I am Ken, as he has said. She is Josephine Owade. Josephine Owade is my better half. She's my wife, as he managed to put it. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Josephine, maybe you could say hi to our viewer. Wasikie sauti yako.
Hi everyone.
Okay. Welcome to the show. Asante sana for coming. We appreciate. Thank you. Next to me is my dark and lovely wife. Very beautiful. You know, there is something about beauty, Ken, that maybe you don't know. Black is beauty.
Exactly.
And there is something I'll tell you after this. She is Linda. I've known her for the last 11 years, and we have been blessed with 2 kids. You also have two children.
I have 2.
Okay. What else do I need to say about you? What else do you think I should say about you? Nothing?
Yeah.
Okay. So we have this couple. We love them. You know them? Tell them to the viewer.
Hi viewer, welcome to our show. In our living room we have a very nice couple. They've been our friends, and for those who are joining us, I want to let you know that they are married for the past over 20 years. And they have experience, they have challenges in their lives, and we share a lot. So we want to once again welcome them. As usual, kindly, Richard, introduce your family.
Thank you very much, Linda. My name is Richard Ouma, and besides me is my lovely wife, Tabitha, Ouma. You're all welcome.
Thank you so much. There's this say that when we respond less to negativity, we become more peaceful. Richard?
Very true. Negativity has a way of putting us down. It's very heavy, draws us back, makes us have very negative thinking and ideas and many things which are not very healthy, because negativity affects our health as well. Generally it affects the family, because when you don't see positives, you see negatives, and negatives ni kuondoa, you know. It's like to minus. Yeah, then we are bound to have a lot of problems, health-wise, you know, socially, and in many more ways.
Yeah, as we build, Ken, I'm coming to you, as we build, remember the story of the 12 tribes, 12 spies, sorry, that were sent to go and survey the land. How many came back with good news? How many were positive?
2.
2. Then the rest said, we've seen mountains, we've seen giants.
Big people.
Yes, we've seen big people. So how does this affect us? Even, you know, before we move to the family, now our spouses and even our children, how does this affect an individual? Ken?
Thank you very much. Just as my friend Richard has put it, you realize that the moment you focus much on negative, it becomes part and parcel of your life. And any moment you see even good deed, you will want to divert it to a negative a thing. So you find that it erodes all the good deeds and exposes everything to be negative. So these ones affects, and this one will not at least make the family to grow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it diminishes the growth of a family. Yeah.
Now, to the ladies, do you have perfect husbands?
No.
Of course not, because we are human beings. We were sinners. And no one is perfect, by the way.
Not even us.
Yeah. Only the angels and God. Yeah.
Josephine?
Just as she has said, none of us is perfect. Yeah, so no one is perfect, no husband is perfect, but we have to cope.
Yeah.
So then,
Yes, Dave. What do I want to say? I mean, we are human, and therefore we are not perfect. And are we therefore looking for constant imperfection? Is there a trial to do what is positive? Is there an opportunity and space and chance for us to portray and to show the positives, you know, so that we can enhance the whole of the family? Because when we start from the place of we are human and therefore we are not perfect, in other words, are we going to allow then mediocrity and shortcomings to ruin our lives? We need to be positive. Negativity, therefore, shouldn't have a chance. We only live with it, but coping and living with it, we only need, we mostly need, so to speak, to have a lot of positives. See everything that is done, everything you see from your spouse as positive before you judge it as negative. We can start from that sort of place, you know.
So I am just wondering, as Richard was talking, these are real life scenarios where I am married and I just don't like his mother. So how is he supposed to look at that positively? You know, there are some things, truly speaking, it's easier said than done. Like, this lady does not even like my mother. I'm just giving an example.
Yes.
Yeah, how am I supposed to look at it, like, positively? Yeah.
If you don't see anything that's positive in my mother, in quotes, then what is there for you to do so that you can get into the positive side of my mother? It's a two-way thing.
It's a two-way thing.
What you see may not be exactly what it is. And there must be an effort getting to know who she is.
And understand.
And understand, yes, her situation and where it lives.
I brought up that because there's a viewer definitely who's going through that. And they're like, how am I supposed to love this mother? You know, and she's not nice to me, she's 1, 2, 3, 4. So at least getting to know, just like Richard mentioned, is the first step. Getting to understand.
We are building this, and remember I started by asking individuals. Now she's my wife. Now how do I know that I'm now focusing on the negatives? We've already agreed that it is not possible to have a perfect marriage because we are not perfect. But now, what is the difference between now correcting and focusing on negatives? How do you know that now this is a correction, but this other one is now focusing on the negatives?
I think when you are focusing on the negative, you will tend to repeat a mistake after the other. It is like you are pretending to be correcting, right? And you are not doing that. You are only building up mistakes after the other. For example, this is my wife. She may be having some weaknesses. For example, I'm not saying she doesn't know how to cook. She cooks very well. For example, in that
we can tell.
Yeah, you can see. So at one point you realize that there is a mistake after the other. Today the salt is too much, the following day you correct, it is now not there. You see? Yeah. So if you try to now correct this every now and then, you can tend to now go and do it the way you would wish it to be. Like you correct it in another good, in a way that she will also appreciate. I think if you go that way, then she will get to learn, okay, this is how I think I need to try doing my things.
In correction, I think you always do it with love. You do it with love. But on negativity, you don't even give someone hope. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
like you just throw your words.
Yeah, you just.
What kind of food is this? If you didn't want to cook,
you would have just.
Yeah.
You're just a bad cook. Every time the food is always bad.
When you
How will you
look
improve
at
someone?
the negatives and you build on them so much, firstly, I believe before you come to that place, that point of taking all the negatives, there must be repeated, continuous negatives, or rather wrongs. I don't know whether it's the wrongs that lead to negatives. Well, probably so. Something happens again and again and again. And if genuinely and truthfully you have tried to make an effort to make that one change, then it sums up the whole total on saying, where you say that, what can Dave ever do? What can Dave ever do? Nothing. Dave just doesn't do anything that goes, even if it's not from your mistake, but it's heaped on you. Because the belief here is that Dave cannot do it. He just can't. And therefore it's a waste of time talking about it. Continuous and repeated things which create negativity are what brings a lot of this negativity. But sometimes we are too quick to judge. And many times we are. Many times we are. We're just quick to judge. You say, you get into the negative mode and you stick in the negative mode. You are not looking at the positive. Because amidst this negative, there must be some positives.
Yeah, there must be.
Do we
Like
enhance
the way
them?
they say, banyani mbaya kiatu chake dawa. I don't know how I can put it in English.
Yeah, hivyo tu.
Yeah.
Baniani mbaya kiatu chake dawa.
Yeah.
Baniani, his shoes is good. Josephine, how now do you, we've realized that how this is done is just amplifying the weaknesses. But I still believe that there is a thin line between correction and focusing on the negatives.
Yes.
What do you think?
I think we should not focus so much on the negativity. In other words, we need to find avenues on how to tackle those issues. Let's say, for example, he said a matter of the wife is not a good cook. I'm not a good cook. He's aware of that. How can he help me? See, so maybe we have avenues, things like us as believers, we have different ministries, like the women ministries, they have this issue of, they do practice on cooking. He can encourage me normally to attend such sessions so that I can upgrade myself, you see. So we need to find avenues on how to handle this matter, but not just to focus on the negative part of it. What can you do? Ask yourself, what can I do to make him or her better?
We want to help probably a viewer who is now wondering what is happening. What are some of these negatives that we sometimes focus on? May not be you. You could have a friend with the way we normally have a friend. It may not be you, but what are some of these negatives? Linda, you want to go first?
It was recently that I shared with Dave something. Not my friend, Dave. I always wash clothes and I at times fold them. And maybe the ones that are meant to be hanged, at times I put them somewhere so that I will hang them later. But when he comes and he finds the shirts there, anasema tu, wewe hujawahi fanya hii kitu vizuri. Wewe unakuanga tu hivi. This is now your weakness. Every time I will always find this thing here. But just the other day, he came and I had already washed clothes and done everything. Then he came and said those kind of words. You know what I did? I just looked at him and went. Nikasema, yani, you can't even encourage someone. Like you putting it's as if like if you have a weakness, it can never be helped, or someone can never improve. It feels bad, by the way, but someone knowing how to package or help in a weakness always counts, goes a long way. Yeah.
Hey, my friend, umesema na tone nyingine mpaka I feel like just saying Paul.
Oh.
I wish I would have not asked you to talk about that. Anyway, do you guys have any ama nyinyi mko sawa?
We are not. I don't think we are. Nobody is perfect. That was our starting point. Nobody is. And depending on which side of the vote you are on, when it was asked, or when we ask ourselves, who are the ones who see most negativities? And I say that women have a lot more negativity because we see a lot of negativity in them. Because we are kind of tuned to living in a certain way, and we want our word to be the law. Yes, if no food here, it must be no food there. And if she continually does the same, then we take it as very negative. She must have a point why she's doing it in that manner or in that order. But we don't easily accept that. And then we get to a point where we become angry, and we start pointing fingers, calling names, and we become harsh, and we want to puff our chests because we are the men. Because we have seen a weakness in our spouses. On the other hand, it can be on us, and they have to live with it somehow, because are we very good at correction? I doubt that. Many times we are very sensitive in how we are being corrected. And this is what brings a lot of problems. Have you seen any that you can talk about? Is there any that you can talk about?
I think he's just playing safe. He was given that chance.
I'm playing safe.
He was given that chance to talk about it, and he's just playing safe. The truth is, nobody, even if you've lived for 1 month, even if you've lived for 50 years, those things are real. But it's just how you handle this situation. I sincerely, I used to really see a lot of negative, stuff that you do. But,
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, let me go
Just
on.
want the viewer to know they're talking about me.
Because we have been brought up from different community or different backgrounds, and here you are, two people coming together, adults, and you want to have the same goal. Definitely there are some things that I still do probably that irritates you, and there are some things that you do that irritates me, but we are growing. The only way is, you be the bigger person, as I always say, and you look at it like, okay, fine, yes, he's done this, but am I perfect myself? You understand?
Or can I help?
Or what is it that I can do to make our life better? Yes, if I'm going to go nail by mouth, for instance, not talking to him, he won't even learn, he won't even know that this is what he's doing. So if, for instance, he likes to polish his shoes on the floor, especially in the living room, and that really irritates me. I think we had that conversation, and yeah, because a lot of that goes into the
and even the smell of the polish and all that. Yeah, but the beauty about with the spouses, the beauty is of course people are different. When you communicate,
even if he's going to do it next time, but at the back of his mind, he'll always remember that conversation.
I just like the way Richard is looking at you. Now we want to focus. We want to focus on the negatives on Ken and Josephine.
Yes.
Do you have experiences like my dear one here? Hata mimi niko na yako.
Yeah, I think, allow me speak first. As Richard has put it very openly, that mostly you will see it that most of the negativity is anchored on the female. But this comes as a result of most of the things they are the ones that do. You'll find they're the ones that cook. After cooking, service, how cleaning the clothes, they are the ones. So you'll find most of the things are piling on them. But we realize that no one is perfect. At times, I think most, was it yesterday but one? She will cook well. After cooking, brings the food on the table, but she wants to serve me first. Then serve the kids. Then I told her, you see, I feel these kids should be served first. This thing has been going on. Why do you think I should feed first? Especially when, So this is one of the things that yesterday I talked about it. Serve the kids, then you will serve me later. Yes. You see, it is something very simple. Then she also feels comfortable serving.
By the way, most of the time it is something very simple.
Very simple. Yeah, but you see, when you correct it every now and then, especially during mealtime, they take it negatively. So I said, I just want it be done this way. She also feels I need to do it this way. You see, all these ones, when you leave and you continue doing it that way, then it becomes a what? It becomes a problem and a challenge in the family. So that one you...
I like that.
Josephine, as always, you have the right to respond.
Yeah, so I think some of these things, it's like they can even be like part and parcel of our lives.
Yeah.
Like for that case, it's now part and parcel, but it won't hurt him, it won't hurt me, but we'll keep on moving. So it's like there is nothing negative here, there is nothing positive here, but we are moving on, you see. Yeah, but as ladies, we are always, I think we are always very respectful. Yeah, and I think that will be addressed.
You know what, Dave? Something that I've just thought. Like, what you see as an issue could not even be an issue to
it
me.
could, yeah.
You understand?
Yeah. Something that is a hill to you, it's just a place for me, yeah.
Yeah, so we should learn each and every day. Yeah, whatever is a problem for me, I don't even care how the clothes are hung, provided they're clean.
Yeah.
That's it,
But
and that bothers Linda.
Issue, yeah?
You understand?
Someone has an issue of even how you hang the clothes on the hang.
They should be on one direction.
Look at that.
One faces the hanger.
As long as they're still hanging, no. No. As long as they're just hanging there.
I just learned from our guest couples that kumbe they are still ladies who serve their husbands.
Yeah, by the way.
Did that strike you as being fantastic?
My friend, by the way, you're very lucky.
You're very lucky. Oh,
hey.
Goodness me.
But let you be served.
The body is going that way, the face is facing that side, and the food is there. It's shown from behind.
Yes.
Food is ready. And you just have to walk with your plates and one serve, come back and
food
see.
is ready, surely.
Yeah.
Okay, like sincerely, you've already made your food and,
Surely, and you know how you eat. Maybe today you want to eat much or today you want to eat a little. What if I serve you and then you don't finish? And maybe the principle in our house is that when you serve,
you have to finish.
You have to finish your food.
Where does that principle come from?
You see,
no, it's good practice, by the way.
It isn't.
Yeah.
It started when we didn't have children.
No, it is.
So when we didn't have children...
And served.
Yes.
Not cooked and left on the stove.
No. What she means is you serve whatever you can finish and eat. That's what she means.
There are bowls which you have bought.
Right.
Serve the food there, bring it to the table. Let me serve as much as I want.
Gentlemen and ladies, we are coming back to the food, the service, and even the plates, the way they are arranged in the sink is a problem. We are talking about focusing less on the negatives, and as you can see, the negatives are there. Sometimes they are very little, but they can cause a big storm. Focusing less on the negatives. How do you tell that you're now focusing less on the negatives? The other question is, how do you stay positive when your spouse is focusing on the negative? We are coming back for more, but remember the song. I just want you to remember this song. I'm pressing on the upward way, new heights I'm gaining every day. This is a marriage and we are pressing on. See you on the other side. Welcome back to Family Times. We are focusing less on the negatives. And we have our special guests, Ken and Josephine, and we also have Tabitha and Richard to help us get this into perspective. Just before we went for the break, we were trying to identify how we focus on the negatives, especially towards our spouses. And something is coming out so clearly that focusing less on this negative, sometimes they're very trivial stuff, but the more we say them and how we say it can make it become a big mountain. And so as we were taking a break, we were talking about these examples. You know, the way Richard does his stuff is not the way Ken does. And the way Josephine responds to what Ken has done can make the difference. And that can be focusing more on the negatives. We were talking about serving the food, and now the plates are in the sink. My friend, I have issues. There is a way I want my plates. You know, I say my plates because we share the kitchen a lot. So when she does the cooking, I do the dishes. And if I find a sufuria, I don't know how to explain it. One day I'll take a picture and show you what I go through. I don't like it, and I don't know. Maybe you can now
You
talk
focus
about
on the
that.
positive side. You've said that. Yeah.
You
Focus more on the positive, the good food that I prepare.
I like that.
Forget about the plate. Because at the end of the day, I'm going to wash them or you're going to wash them, and they'll be arranged.
But you'll enjoy your food.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll try.
Try.
I'll try. Any other example as we now? How do we keep negativity out of our marriage? We have realized negativity is equal. Sindio? They're there. But now how do we keep them out of our marriage?
By building each other,
Yes.
by enhancing the positivities, by participating more, in especially in those negatives. If there are things that you can help in terms of, reducing them, supporting your wife, then you go to get in there. That is probably the only way.
Yeah.
Probably the only way to reduce the negativity, because we have the negativity. We agree that we are human and we can do things which are very negative. The picture which we have of our spouses is nearly that one of a perfect human being. And therefore if it doesn't go to our expectations, we get disappointed. But again, I want to say that if there's effort to change, then appreciation is easier and the help is very well received, then it can be very easy to change. Yes, Dave.
I can say it's all about our mindset. It's the way you want something to be. How have you set your mind? If you set your mind that every evening your husband comes home late,
Yes.
then there could be something fishy that was happening behind.
Yes.
Then that will be, you won't grow.
Yes.
So the issue of infidelity now comes in. Just from imagination. Things are just thinking. So you'll start creating your own things, you see. So you should just focus on the positivity. Another thing here, we have the issue of forgiveness. The power for forgiveness, very healthy. It's very important for us as couples to always learn how to forgive one another. Yeah, and another thing, the last one is maybe ask God for wisdom. Yeah. He will guide you. He'll help you tackle the negativity that you are seeing in your life.
Okay.
There's something that Richard has said, that maybe like for our instance, the way I can wash and then fold the clothes, then on the way I put those shirts there, only the process of hanging. When you come home, you need to appreciate, then just pick the shirts and hang them. They won't cost you anything. So there is a thing that you can do an extra mile to go and try and cover or help your other spouse. We are in a car. We have a driver and a co-driver. When one is down, the other one uplifts someone. Let me read the book of Galatians chapter 6, verses 1. It says, brethren.
Unataka kuni...
No, just listen. It says, brethren, if a man be overtaken in a fault, which ye are spiritual, restore that person in meekness. So the best thing we can do to our spouse is just try and be gentle and be kind to that person that you're trying to live with or cope with. Because we are not perfect. You can help me, I can help you.
Tabi, your next dear viewer, Linda has just used the Bible to reprimand. Just go on.
And helping your spouse does not make you weak.
Yeah.
Helping your spouse do dishes, or, we are not in the same whatever with our grandparents where they think that the kitchen is just for the mother or for the woman. Like just the other day, I'm not very big on cleaning, so at times he sees something and when the only way he can sometimes asks me to do it is like, oh, you know what, how about we clean up this place? So we end up doing it together with him. I don't even realize that I'm doing it, so when you're doing it together there's more psych, so it doesn't make him a lesser man, it doesn't make him, so when we help our spouse, it also builds our marriage, because remember, when you focus more on the negativity, even your marriage can fail. Yeah, because you have a lot of that. Yeah.
Just before that, hold that thought. Ken.
Yes.
Share with us your journey of patience. They say we should never run out of patience, but we should walk into patience.
Yeah, it's true.
Your journey of patience in, bringing back this now positivity, focusing now on positivity and less on the negativity.
It has been it is a challenge. Actually, at times you realize you are almost running out of patience, but you are now coming back to evaluate yourself, that even myself I also do wrong, mistakes. So I don't need to focus on her a lot. But what also, again, brings a lot of challenges is how you correct someone.
Yeah, true.
Because you realize sometimes I ask her, who should spread the bed when we wake up?
Regardless of who woke up last.
Exactly. Who?
To me,
And what does she say?
Then you will get a challenge that when I spread the bed when we are going to sleep, now the reverse should be the reality. You do it when we wake up. You get that?
That's how you wake up at 8 and you want the bed to be spread by someone who woke up at 4 or at 6.
That's not fair.
That's
Yeah.
typical.
Yeah.
Dave, I think patience is key,
Yeah.
as you have mentioned, and I'm very sure about patience on myself. That bit I am. Patient like a vulture. Eat you a bit, I'm just patient. Whatever little remains, I'll pick that and eat.
That will be mine.
That's like me. That's like me. Now, you need to exercise a lot of that. If you don't have it, everything will be negative. But more than anything else, I think we need to take away the I,
Yeah.
the me. I would have done it. This, I want it done that way. It must be like this. I want. It's me and me and me. You know? Let her do it whichever way she wants to do it, for as long as it is done well and with love, as Linda
The
mentioned.
plates.
Sorry?
The plates of the sink.
Am I hitting on somebody here? I hope I'm not. But we leave room for it to be done in a certain manner. If it doesn't reach our expectations, then what is wrong just to move it and say, darling,
Yeah.
if you did it this way, I think it would have looked very nice. What do you think about it? And even if there's a bit of protest from me, but we'll see that the intention was, this is where we are going to, so let's go with it that way. But there are other issues about these matters, which probably need a much bigger view. Yeah. Some are narrow. It is very easy. You can simply correct by actually acting how you wanted it to be done. But some are very wide. And we must be careful in how we step, because we may just overstep without really knowing that you have overstepped. But if it is done repeatedly, this goes on and on and on and on again. Do we now therefore close your eyes and say, this is what my wife is? She'll never do it correctly. This is how my husband is. He will never do it the right way or the way I want, because it's still me.
Yeah.
Every time it's about me. This is where there is a big conflict. Do we learn to go above that? Do we support each other and say, honey, you know, you're the one who makes the best mandazis. Just get onto it. I'm waiting. I'm excited. I'm waiting for those mandazis. You know, and you're helping. It goes there. But where you see her going a little off it, then you're quick to say, do it like this. I think if you do it like that, you're going to get what you want.
Let's try this.
That's the question, and that is why I was very careful to ask about patience, because this has been done for the past 11 years. Na naona bado inaendelea.
Inaendelea, Dave.
So
I think in marriage, so long as you are one, then patience should have no time limit.
Yeah.
As long as you are
Forever, till you die.
Yes.
Let me ask you one question. So how many times should someone be corrected? How many times? Now we are in marriage for 7 years.
Yes.
We are moving on.
Yes.
So the same correction that I make today, I expect to make it for the next 60 years.
And it's the same thing with her probably. There is something probably that she has had that
God is trying
conversation
to
with you, right?
I remember my dad, when we were young, he used to, you know, we are making noise in the living room and he's trying to watch maybe the news. Then the first tone he says, Nyamazeni. Then the second time, he increases it a bit and says, Nyamazeni. Then the third one, it will be like a blast. Nyamazeni! You know, at that point, the third Nyamazeni has really sunk. Imeingia na tumenyamaza.
Exactly.
So even as you're asking the question, you know, you need to answer his question. I was just trying to amplify that. So how long does he need to correct? So that, by the way, you know, when we say correct, it means it's supposed to go
The other way.
the other way.
Some other way.
So
I think on that matter, if something is just good, maybe there's something you are not doing.
Wow.
Are you praying over it?
Wow.
Yes. Have you committed this to God? I think with God, everything is possible. You see, that's why you just have to be patient. Keep on pressing. Pray to God. It
shall be well. And God gives you always the grace to carry anything. He has given you that thing so that you can learn how to be patient.
Yes.
It takes you a long way, by the way. God doesn't give you something that will make you go down, okay?
I want to say this is a lot of love. It's a lot of love. Tea is cooked in my house. I love tea. And Tabitha's way of making tea is not the way I would love my tea to be done.
Just to confirm,
Yes.
who does chai bora and who does bora chai?
Yangu chai bora, kwake bora chai. But this is what it is. My knowledge about making tea is you put water in the pan, in the fire, and you put tea leaves first. Then you have that boil. Then you put in milk if you want to take milk. Milk tea. Her way is she takes the water, put it in the pan, water in it, majani in it, put in the pan and the fire.
And it boils.
Now, the thing is, because this is something I've gone back to so many times, I've left it. Now I just drink it the way it is. I don't go back to where it's supposed to be done this way or that way. I've just accepted it. It gives me more peace than if I would keep on pointing fingers at her all the times.
By the way, do you know?
But you know, it's not an easy one, Dave.
Yeah, it's not.
It's not.
It's not. You know, I have to help this lady in the kitchen, and most of the time, I have to find myself next to the sink with this heap. By the way, sometimes there are only 3 plates, but it looks like there are 100 plates.
It's a mountain.
Because the way they are arranged.
No, they are not arranged. They've been thrown in the sink.
They take their own position.
All over.
Take your own position.
Yes.
So again, even to our viewer, patience is really key in our marriages. Remember, we never got married to angels. Huh? We got married to already weak beings, weakened by sin and everything. So as we come to a close, let's discuss the effects of focusing on the negatives to the marriage. She talked passionately about the clothes. What are the extremes to these negativities in our marriages?
First, I think the communication will go down. Intimacy will also go down. And when those two things, I mean, communication is actually key. When you cannot communicate with your spouse, then that means your marriage is going to go down. So it is just important that when you see a lot of negative stuff in your spouse, try to communicate. Because people see things differently. What I see as small to him might be a huge mountain. Or what he sees as small to me, it might be a huge mountain. But when you communicate, all those problems will be sorted.
Someone's self-esteem is always down. And when you have someone whose self-esteem is low, has a lot of negative energy, can do a lot of stuff that can't even help. It keeps on hurting and injuring anyone they come across.
Hurting from the inside.
I think focusing too much on the negativity is not healthy to our lives. Yeah, because actually there is nothing, you'll find nothing in your marriage to smile on. Even the kids, the way you manage your kids, the way you manage, everything will just be in a mess. And it's not healthy. You can even end up developing diseases, hypertension, you see. So I don't think there is any benefit out of focusing on the negativity.
I think it does not derail the fact that we need to correct. Correction is part and parcel of our lives. Yeah, but alongside what we said is that we need to see the way that we need to find a way of correcting. But again, if it moves to the extreme, Dave, then it gives birth to other things, like quarrels in the house. This is where now you will find, as my friend Richard, he has a way of preparing tea. In fact, the way he's putting it, it is even appetizing before even it. But now, if you correct every now and then, and you go to an extent of now telling her, you wait, this is the method of doing this. Sit back, relax, and then you will see how it is prepared. Then you put it the way he was doing it. You see, that itself will derail the self-esteem. Because instead of correcting in a good way, the tone itself will bring will swap everything away from the correct path. So the best thing is you avoid it before it reaches that extreme end.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the question is now, what should we do? One thing I've learned this season, dear viewer, is a lot of positive vibes. I've learned so many things during this season, and as she puts it, I've accepted the way she is, and I can confirm to you that I'm ready to move on. What are some of what else do we need to do? Yeah, what else do we need to do so that this, I mean, we need to move on. Mimi by then nimekubali. I've accepted her. And we did some laundry this morning. Watch what I'll do after this.
we need
But
to...
then you choose to think positively. Just focus and try to see. By the way, there's no one who is bad from the top to the bottom. There's something good that we'll find in someone. So always focus on that positive and build it. By the way, when you build someone's self-esteem, even these things that you're complaining will come to place. Yeah.
I think we need to let go and accept to live with it.
Yeah.
At the end of it all, your marriage is bigger than the little problems here. And focus on the good ones. They may not be exactly where you want them to be.
Yeah.
They may be on different places and different spheres. Those ones must be appraised, those ones must be enhanced, those ones must be supported, and where there are weaknesses, which may bring this negativity, also support is needed. There is a moment and time when you say, oh, okay, let it be. This is not our marriage. Our marriage is bigger than this little thing. And therefore, let me just live with it. I've accepted her with everything. It's a full package. It's not only about the good things.
True.
Because we are human beings. We are bound to make mistakes. We are not perfect. And that negativity, that absence of that perfection should be part and parcel of our life. I know where I have my shortcomings. I believe she will learn to live with them. Where she has hers, I should learn to live with it. But both sides, we should support each other to move forward as husband and wife.
Finally, now, what are the words of hope would you want to give to our viewer, even as we finish?
One is we don't need to specifically take the responsibility of tending to know it all in the house. Because if I come today and I want the table to be arranged, she also have her way to arrange the table. We don't have a specific, you are not given that mandate of you know everything. You should share. So that when she gives you an idea of how best to do something, it can surpass the idea that you had. So let us not be rigid that I am the one who is giving the orders and the authorities must be followed that way. So we just need to be flexible in taking the correction.
Josephine, your final word to the viewer?
I think we need to really focus on our positivity. If you focus majorly on the negativity of your partner, then we have high chances of the negativity overweighing your positivity. You see, so even you'll get demoralized. You see, so there won't be too much growth expected in your marriage. So let's focus and maintain our positivity.
Okay. Thank you, Tabi.
Dear viewer, I just want to encourage you I don't know what you're going through right now, but I just want to let you know that there's somebody who is watching you and believing in you because of what you're going through. So if you have some stuff that is going on and you focus on the positive, you're going to be preaching to somebody and somebody is going to be encouraged because you do not know what they're also going through. That does not mean that if you're affected, you don't talk about it. But when you are you look at a situation positively and you also influence your spouse, you're going to encourage somebody. God bless you.
Thank you so much, Linda.
Dear viewer, you can choose to think positively. And again, let's not be quick in judging others. Let's support the other person. Yeah.
You can just read Matthew chapter 7, verse 3 and 5 as Richard gives his final remarks. Or you want to read the verse first?
3:5.
Matthew chapter
7, 3-5.
Yes.
It says, "And why beholdest thou the mote that is in thy brother's eye, but considerest not the beam that is in thine own eye? Or how wilt thou say to thy brother, Let me pull out the mote out of thine eye, and behold, a beam is in your own eye? Thou hypocrite, first cast out the beam out of thine own eye, and then shalt thou see clearly to cast out the mote out of thy brother's eye."
Thank you. Richard.
My viewer, from the text, we are being admonished, that we must realize that we also have our own, shortcomings. Some of them are very negative to our spouses. But before we get into looking at theirs, we need to look at our own, so that we are also clean, and we don't take the pride or the perfect place as if we are very perfect ourselves. And therefore, my advice to you, viewer, is that let us learn to be really married. Married means let us be one.
Thank you.
And each and everyone's fault or weakness should actually be enhanced by both of us, so that we live peacefully. There's still hope in this.
Thank you so much. Well, you have it. Take care of your spouse, because that is your lifetime partner. Focus on the positives and not negatives. See you next time. God bless you.